One of the giants among many top performers to grace Australian trotting tracks in the mid-1960s was South Australian pacer Minuteman, a bay horse foaled in 1959 who was by Field Battery from Addistar. A great money spinner for Eric Hurley and his family, brother Jim and sister Phyllis, Minuteman won 30 races, including an Inter-Dominion Grand Final and the A.G. Hunter Cup twice. Destined to be a champion from the day he was foaled, the colt was given the appropriate name of Minuteman, after the US rocket weapon system.
He'd been pretty badly injured as a foal, only about 9 or 10 days old, and I suggested to the vet that stitched his stomach and back leg up with horrendous injuries, that it wasn't much good saving colts. At least you could breed from a filly, but a crippled colt's not much good to anybody. He said, I'll give him a chance, Eric, he's still alive. And a couple of years later he won the Size Produce Stakes in Adelaide, and the same vet was on duty that night, and he ran out on the track and said, give him a go, Eric, he's still alive. So, and then that was when he got into us. He took over our lives, and you know, he thought that I was God, and he'd made up his mind, and that stayed with him until his last days. Of course, he wasn't that smart. That was one thing he got wrong. He didn't know it. I knew it. He was God, not me.
Racing at first attempt on Angelique.
Lightly raced as a 2-year-old, Minuteman was South Australia's best 3-year-old during 1962-63, winning 10 races, including 3 classics, the South Australian Size Produce Stakes, the South Australian St Leger and South Australian Guineas. He was also third behind champion New Zealand colt Tactile, who won a record 5 derbies that season, and Hugh Cravotti in the South Australian Derby. The following season, as a 4-year-old, Minuteman hit his straps and carved his niche in the temple of Australian pacing fame. Stringing together a number of wins at home and in Victoria, Minuteman gave notice he was better than average when he led throughout to win the time-honoured A.G. Hunter Cup at the Melbourne Showgrounds in January 1964.
Length clear of Angelique running second, half a length on the outside there to Maestro's Melody on the outside. Future Raiders tucked in on the rails, then Tiara Court on the outside, and here's Robin Dundee going right around the outside. You can pick up the white bridle as Robin Dundee pounces on them, and Tactile is following him through as they go towards the furlong post. It's Minuteman in front, a half a length to Robin Dundee, and on the rails is Angelique, and there's one coming down the outside. It's Tactile. They come down to the judge where they've got 3 laps to go. Minuteman from South Australia on the rails in front, Tactile up on the outside of him, and the one in on the rails is Angelique, and Robin Dundee next, followed then by Future Raider, Maestro's Melody. Then comes Tiara Court, followed by Waitaki Hanover. Tarcoola is next in on the fence, being passed at this juncture by Caricature. Down the back stretch, 2.5 laps to run, and it's Minuteman still showing the way. Angelique is running second. On the outside of him, Tactile, followed then by Robin Dundee. In behind that one is Future Raider, followed by Maestro's Melody. In behind that one comes Waitaki Hanover, and Tarcoola is the one that's being brought out at this juncture as they come down the straight. They've got 2 laps to go. Where the leader is Minuteman. Minuteman is just in front of Tactile, running second. Angelique is third in on the fence. On the outside, Rising Flood, followed then by Tarcoola as they swing out of the straight. Down the back stretch with a little over a lap to go.
Down the back with a little over a lap to go, and it's Minuteman out in front, a length clear of Angelique on the inside. Up on the outside of him is Tactile, and 4 wide right around the outside. One going up is Tiara Court, pushing through in the centre of that one now. His colours obscured, looks like Maestro's Melody. Towards the inside of them, Waitaki Hanover, and back towards the rear. Around the outside is one there, his colours obscured, but it looks like Sheffield Globe. Towards the home turn with 1 lap to go, and it's still Minuteman in front, a length clear. A wall of horses towards the inside, Tactile. On the outside is Tiara Court, and pushing through Angelique. Maestro's Melody up wide on the track, Waitaki Hanover. Tarcoola is 4 wide on the track and back towards the rear too. One going through is Caricature, and also one around the outside of him, Maestro's Melody. 2.5 furlongs to go. It's still Minuteman, 3 parts of a length clear of going through to Angelique on the inside. Out wide would be One Tactile. Into 4th place, Robin Dundee, followed by Wataki Hanover, pushing up in the centre. Caricature on the inside of him, and here comes Takula, 4 wide around the outside. At the furlong post, it's still Minuteman, well clear. Half a length clear of Robin Dundee, 3 wide. Tactile 2 wide, and Angelique on the inside from Caricature and Wataki Hanover. They straighten up, and it's Minuteman in front from Robin Dundee down the outside. But it's Minuteman's A.G. Hunter Cup, and Minuteman goes on to win. Robin Dundee second, Angelique third from Wataki Hanover. Tactile Future.
It was his 15th win for stake earnings of more than £5,100. But the best was yet to come. Less than 2 months later, Minuteman earned himself a lasting place in record books when he won the 1964 Inter-Dominion Grand Final at the Showgrounds, but not without first giving his connections a period of great strain and anxiety. Cardigan Bay provided the highlight of opening night when he won his heat from 36 yards in track record time. His task was made a little easier, however, when Minuteman, who was usually a faultless and brilliant beginner, broke at the start and galloped badly. Minuteman made amends when he won his heat on the second night. Connections caused a stir when they requested and were granted permission to scratch Minuteman from his final heat over the marathon 15.5 furlongs. Pre-post favourite, Minuteman was suffering from arthritis of the near fore fetlock joint, combined with a slight attack of laminitis or inflammation of the hoof.
Well, the crucial time is Wednesday night. Are you confident of Minuteman recovering?
Well, I suppose I'm a bit cheeky, but I've seen some miraculous improvements with this horse when he's been sore before, but I've never seen him quite as bad as this.
How will you work him, Eric?
We intend to take him to the beach tomorrow. If it's calm enough, I can work him in the water without hurting his leg.
By Wednesday, Minuteman was able to stand flat-footed, but it was not until just on 3.25 hours before post time for the grand final that he was given the all-clear to take his place in the field.
They're racing, and from the front, Minuteman's the first to get going. There's going up in the air, Le George, and Angelique is galloping too. Robin Dundee locked wheels with Smoke Cloud. Cardigan Bay got away all right, but Minuteman the leader. Settles down in front of Angelique second, Pippericky up the track third, and Red Adios moving through into the death seat. Then Tactile, who's under the whip but got away brilliantly, followed then behind them at the head of the others by Little Mary. 12 yards to Smoke Cloud and Robin Dundee, another 6 to Cardigan Bay, and Le George is last. At the judge, 4 laps to go, and the leader is Minuteman. A sulky's length to Red Adios. In third place then on the rails is Angelique in the box seat. Tactile driven with the whip for the first 2 furlongs. And they're followed by Pippericky, caught in no man's land with Little Mary. Robin Dundee making ground next, followed by Smoke Cloud, Cardigan Bay, and last is Le George. Down the back, they're going at about a 2.9 bat at the moment, maybe faster. Minuteman in front, a sulky's length to Angelique. Red Adios in the death seat on the outside. 4th Tactile shading Pippericky, who's got in on the fence. Then Little Mary. Robin Dundee is last of the main bunch. 8 yards away, Smoke Cloud. Here's Cardigan Bay asked for his first effort, moving up on the outside of Smoke Cloud. And Le George brought up the rear. In the straight, 3 laps to go, and it's Minuteman, a sulky's length clear of Red Adios. On the rails is Angelique. Then Tactile racing on the outside of Pippericky from Little Mary, Robin Dundee. Cardigan Bay trailing Robin Dundee, and then Smoke Cloud, and last of all, Le George. They race out of the straight towards the milepost, and it's still Minuteman, the South Australian, with Hurley having a good hold on it. A sulky's length to Angelique and Red Adios, a similar distance to Pippericky. Tactile on the outside of it. Then a sulky's length away, Little Mary, followed by Robin Dundee, racing one out from the fence. Cardigan Bay on the outside of Smoke Cloud, and Le George brought up the rear 48 yards from the lead. 7 furlongs to go. It's still about a 2.9 bat, and the leader Minuteman slowing them up a little here. Only a couple of yards to Red Adios, who moves past Angelique. 2 yards away on the outside, Tactile. Pippericky on the rails, followed then by Little Mary. Smoke Cloud on the inside of Robin Dundee, and Le George and Cardigan Bay are together last. 2 laps to go in the final, and the leader Minuteman, with Hurley having a look around at the opposition. A sulky's length in front of Red Adios, ahead away Angelique on the rails from Tactile. On the fence, Pippericky, and they were followed by Little Mary, and then came on the rails next Smoke Cloud from Robin Dundee. Then Le George, and last still Cardigan Bay. 5 furlongs to go. When is there going to be a move made? Could it be Cardigan Bay? But the driver's still sitting there, and with 4.5 furlongs to go, Minuteman dictating the terms to them. A sulky's length clear of Angelique, and on the outside, Red Adios, who's had to do it the hard way. Then Tactile, Ricky, Little Maori followed next in the field by On the Rail, Smoke Cloud, Robin Dundee, Le George, and Cardigan Bay last with 4 furlongs to travel. They head up for home for the bell, and Minuteman under a tight rein is the leader. Red Adios second from Angelique third, then Tactile from Ricky, Little Maori. Next Smoke Cloud, Robin Dundee, Le George, and Cardigan Bay last. They pass the judge, 1 lap to go, and it's still Minuteman pacing stylishly. 2 yards to Red Adios, Angelique. Tactile's coming out first. Little Mary behind him as they go to the back, and Cardigan Bay still last. 2 furlongs to go, and the leader, Minuteman. Red Adios is beaten, Angelique in a pocket. Tactile is 3 wide, but Hurley's very confident on this leader, and Cardigan Bay can't win. A furlong to go, and the leader, Minuteman. Angelique gets out and looks the big danger from Tactile. Then Ricky, Robin Dundee, but at the furlong, Minuteman's doing it stylishly. Angelique second from Tactile. Smoke Cloud is next, and then Ricky. Minuteman headed for home, nicely clear. Angelique under the whip, the only danger. It's Minuteman in front from Angelique, and the South Australians too good. Minuteman wins the Inter-Dominion from Angelique. Third racing to Tactile, fourth Smoke Cloud, then Robin Dundee. Next Cardigan Bay, Le George, Ricky, Red Adios, and last to finish in the race was Little Mary. A training triumph to Eric Hurley. The driver of Minuteman had a sick horse on his hand, suffering from arthritis and laminitis. Couldn't start in the third heat of the championship. He got into the post, perfectly fit, drove a masterly race in front, and has clinched this magnificent £30,000 grand final of the Inter-Dominion Championship.
Minuteman had a mediocre season in 1964-65, recording 6 wins and 5 placings, but towards the end of 1965 he revealed a glimpse of his best form of 2 years earlier when he won 2 races at Wayville. Eric Hurley then set his sights on a second A.G. Hunter Cup in January 1966. The now 6-year-old Minuteman was primed to make history and joined Sheffield Globe as the only dual winners of the big race. Favoured at 6-4 from 12 yards, Minuteman added to his handicap when he mixed his gate early. With 5 furlongs to travel, Minuteman slipped around the field to race without cover on the outside of the leader.
At the furlong and a half, and Minuteman clear. About 2 yards to Stormy Bruce, who looks the big danger. Then Future Raider fighting on doggedly from Fiery Land, and then 10th Rose. It's Minuteman in front at the furlong, a yard to Stormy Bruce on the outside. Then Future Raider followed by Fiery Land. Minuteman clear into the straight. Stormy Bruce on the outside, trying hard to get to it. Minuteman holding them at bay, and here's a good performance.
While Minuteman has his name etched in record books with 2 A.G. Hunter Cup victories and an Inter-Dominion Grand Final, it is a win in a race that does not rate a mention in Australia's major pacing classics that puts the seal on his greatness. This was the Coles Stores handicap at the Showgrounds a week after the 1966 A.G. Hunter Cup. Originally handicapped on 24 yards, Minuteman received an additional 12-yard penalty for his second Hunter Cup victory, which saw him start from 36 yards, a daunting handicap on that track. That was not enough to him posting what many consider to be his greatest winning performance. 4 wide for the last 7 furlongs and covering more ground than any other runner in the race, and let us not forget his initial 36-yard handicap, Minuteman was able to delve deep into that vast reservoir of guts, stamina and courage that all champions possess to pull out that extra bit of toughness which saw him get up right on the line.
Minuteman now starting to warm up around the outside. They've given him a chance with this pace, I reckon, from Fosmar and Music Man. Here goes Minuteman. Forrester tries to slow up on Stormy Bruce, and Fiery Land, Angelique, Cambist and Minuteman all go after him. Minuteman's caught 4 wide. They've forced further back along the fence Macquarie, who's lost his place. Gale's Image with them. Into the back stretch again, 5 furlongs to go. Fiery Land's taken the lead, a yard now to Stormy Bruce on the fence. Sulky's length, Angelique, Gale's Image, Minuteman 4 wide. He can't get anywhere from Cambist, Macquarie in the centre, Van Nutt, 10th Rose. And forget about the others, Music Man, Fosmar and Rising Flood. On the corner, a half-mile to go, and with the inside running, Stormy Bruce has again got to the front with Fiery Land. They're together. Angelique third, travelling well from Cambist. Minuteman still caught 4 wide. Then Gale's Image, Macquarie locked in, nowhere to go, and then Van Nutt. Here's the bell, Minuteman coming at them again. Stormy Bruce, Fiery Land, now Cambist 3 wide, 4 wide Minuteman from Angelique. Macquarie trying to get out from Van Nutt. Out of the straight, Stormy Bruce just in front of Fiery Land. Cambist tackling them. Minuteman 4 wide is still trying to get to them from Van Nut, Macquarie and Angelique. At the 2, Stormy Bruce ahead to Fiery Land, Canvas. Minuteman 4 wide, Macquarie, Angelique in a hopeless pocket, and then 10th rows. Stormy Bruce just in front, Fiery Land's gone, but Canvas, the big one, races now to the leader and hits the front with Minuteman still plodding on out wide. It's Canvas ahead to Stormy Bruce. Minuteman out wide, Fiery Land, Macquarie nowhere to go from Angelique. Canvas and Stormy Bruce from Minuteman, Fiery Land, Angelique. In the straight, Canvas, the narrow leader. Minuteman coming at it. He's wearing Canvas down and Angelique flashing through. Minuteman racing to Canvas has won the money.
A month later, Minuteman journeyed to Harold Park in search of his second Inter-Dominion crown. Handicapped on 24 yards, Minuteman was beaten 2 yards by Chamfer Star in his opening heat, was a close 6th to Robin Dundee in his second heat after covering a ton of extra ground, and then was an excellent second to Double Adios in his final round heat. He did enough in the heats to get into the final, which was run in appalling conditions. Almost freakish weather turned the track into a quagmire. Sharing the back mark off 24 yards with Robin Dundee, Minuteman broke at the start before taking off 4 wide 6 furlongs from home to make a line of 4 in the lead as they raced up to get the bell.
There are horses spread right across the track. Chamfer Star, first lead, 3 wide, look out, 4 wide Minuteman. Tactile still having the run of the race on the outside of Tarcoola. Then 10th rows, Robin Dundee making round on the rails. In the centre there then is Dale's Gift, then Skatira. They're followed by Double Adios and Kalama's Peak. 2.5 furlongs out in the Inter-Dominion now, and Chamfer Star is still holding first lead. Then Minuteman on the outside of Lookout, Tactile being driven with a rip. Tarcoola is also there. Then Dale's Gift will have to go right around them. Robin Dundee is searching for a way through the field. Skatira driving on the rails. They're followed then by Double Adios and 10 throws. Chamfer Star still has a good lead from first lead. Now Tactile's driver calls for an effort, takes hold of the whip, and he's 3 wide, and finishing on under the whip behind them, Tarcoola and Minuteman, and further out Dale's Gift into the straight. Chamfer Star first lead. Chamfer Star on the inside. It's Chamfer Star hanging on. Oh, maybe Chamfer Star. That was Robin Dundee second. Robin Dundee flew to get second. Close up in the photo then was Dale's Gift. They were followed by Tactile.
Minuteman went back home to Adelaide and raced with distinction before breaking down and spending over 2 years off the track. On his return, his form wasn't quite to the same standard. He was left out of the 1970 Inter-Dominion Carnival, but he was able to win a free-for-all at Moonee Valley, defeating Bold David and Viva Amigo. Minuteman took a record of 2.6.2, faced the starters 75 times for 30 wins, prize money in excess of $66,000. Minuteman stood 15 seasons at stud, but like many other colonial bred sires, he did not get the opportunities his record deserved. A great career came to an end when Minuteman suffered a heart attack and died at the end of April 1980. Then 20 years old, Minuteman died suddenly at Eric Hurley's Glendevon stud.
He'd sing out to other horses and to the crowd, and I never got that from other horses. They were performers, and he was a real playboy, and he was when he was 22. He'd be biting at the rake or whatever you were doing to clean his stall, and the horses do it, the colts do it in the stalls nowadays, but he was always within an inch of getting a hiding for doing something pretty bad, and he'd run you to just about the end of your tether, but he always knew where his place was, and I can't say that for some of the horses that I've got nowadays.